This is the Inside Data Center podcast. We talk to the people who power the data center sector to give you insider info on everything happening in DC today. Here's your host, Andy Davis.
And we're back for the last podcast at Datacloud 2025. I'm here with Andy Davis.
I don't even know what number podcast this is. We were chatting about earlier. How many have we done? Is it 9 or 10?
And then after yesterday evening, it must have been tough.
You can hear in my voice,
See
Lex.
the black, you see the black there.
The voice is a strange.
The ice changed.
We did say earlier, yesterday we were saying about being inside. We're like, oh, it's a bit annoying. The weather's not great. And I was like, I'm so glad we're outside today because we put the sunglasses.
There you go. Amazing.
Signs of a good networking event.
That's it. I'm just always this husky, so I've got no excuse.
Oh, this is it. I might try to adopt this accent myself
That's
going
nice.
forward.
And I'm just old. I need my glasses.
This is a quick round of intros. Annabel, you want to kick us off?
Sure. My name is Annabel Helm. I'm the MD for Datacloud and sit on the leadership team for techoraco. Coming to the end of what has been a pretty intense 12 months of work and, more intense the last couple of weeks, really, to be honest. It's looking forward to a weekend.
Nominal Lex.
So Lex Coors, Chief Data Center Technology and Engineering Officer for Digital Realty. I'm also the President for the European Data Center Association, and I'm at the board of the Climate Neutral Data Center Pact. And first of all, congratulations, Datacloud, for this event. It's really amazing.
I was just going to say that, like, hats off. Like,
Why do you want to repeat me?
it's because you speak such truth, Lex.
There you go.
I need to make out like it's my viewpoint as well, not yours. But no, it's been amazing. Everyone we've met, it's amazing, and the volume of people, but the great people as well. So I know we were just saying about how many steps you've done, but well done.
No, do you know what's amazing is that we put this on, but there's only really 6 people that are the core team on this. I kind of helicopter in and out, and they're not just doing this event, right? They're doing everything that we do within Datacloud. And to deliver this with that smaller team is I hats off to the team because they have knocked it out of the park. Honestly,
They are phenomenal.
privileged to be,
But it's
to work with them.
It's not only the amount of people, it's the content,
Right.
the way you have selected everything together, It's really amazing. There's so many interesting things going on. You can learn so much. It's really, really, really good stuff.
That's down to you in the industry, right? Because our content wouldn't be as good as it is, and we want to think that it's the best. But that comes down to people like you on the leadership committee and all of our leadership committees, because we can't have one without the other. And then being able to adapt at the last minute. Last week we got email CTO from Grok wants to come. Perfect. Let's get him on stage. He was on stage after you this morning. It's really cool that we can do that, because you write these agendas, you do this research. Before you even get to an agenda, you're doing 100, 200 hours of research, primary, secondary, speaking to our clients. But then things change. And we look how much things have changed since, January, February, March last week, today. You've got to adapt,
That change seems to be one of the key themes of this event. And talking of the event itself, so many numbers flowing about. How big has it been this year?
So 4,500 people through the doors, which is crazy. That's 45% more than we had last year. And that we never wanted to be the biggest. We've always wanted to be, I suppose, the highest quality event. And what's really cool, and I got the team to give me some stats, that of that 45%, we've got 1,100 C-level representatives here, which is 49% more than we had last year. Of those, we've got 1,200 data center operators here, representatives, which is 76% more than we had last year. Look at the speaker lineup, 50% are CEOs, 25% are women, It's really cool because it's not just growth for growth's sake.
Yeah.
It's actually adapting. So, you're seeing more power people, more, regulators. We've got ambassadors here, MEPs, it's really trying to grow up, grow the impact of what we do.
Yeah, I
Were you
always think,
ambushed by your success or not?
No, it's not ambush. We knew that it was going to be good. We've worked really hard on this. Rory knows we have been fighting to kind of get back up to rebuild everything that we do. that now it's but it still took us by surprise. I mean, honestly speaking, in the last couple of
Pleasant
weeks have
surprise.
been, a lot. I mean, I wouldn't normally just have 6 people working on an event this size, right?
Maybe we should recruit some more people.
Well, exactly.
Well, I think,
do you know a recruiter?
Yeah, right. I know a few, but I think events are a great one. I know, Lex, you've probably seen it as well over the years. The evolution of the industry, events are a great example. Like that, because you come to this event once a year, you kind of see the change. You go from there's a lot more people. You see the change in content. You see the change in attendees. So there's more eyes on the industry, and I guess that's happened continuously. I guess through your career, Lex, where you started in the industry when it was quite small, and now it's what it is today.
Oh my goodness, it's massive. I think what you see in the past, if you would pay, you could talk about potatoes on stage. No one cared. You just paid. You go speak about potatoes. Then you saw, let's say, with many of them, they still are following behind the trend. What I see, for instance, here over the coming days, you are trying to get ahead of the trend with your program. You're not simply saying, oh, and this is what we're doing. Oh, and this is what we did. And oh, here. No, you're really trying to get ahead of that curve where you say, okay, let's bring these people together and make sure that we have the conversation, the discussion. What I'm still missing, even though it's now for years, is the debate.
Yeah.
The hardcore debate. I disagree with you. I think you're wrong, because that is really the stuff that you want to hear, because otherwise you still hear a little bit too much. Oh, I fully agree with you. Oh, let me add to this. And that's not entertaining. We also have a role to entertain. We can speak, but people will fall asleep. So you need to use your stage performance to actually talk to the people, get ahead of the curve. Don't be afraid to say something that people afterwards say, well, that was not right. Who cares? You brought it up, it was discussed. And that's, I think, is important. And I see that Datacloud now really gets ahead of this curve, bringing together these programs and people, and make sure it gets debated.
Bit of fire on the panel discussion.
But there is. And actually, I had that conversation earlier. I think it helps when you've got, so many CEOs or scene leaders on a panel. So you don't want to say just what your marketing team want to say, because you're going to be challenged by your peers in the industry, if you know what I mean. And then you've got the closed door stuff too, right? You know, there's so many workshops, Chatham House Rules. We run the Digital Info Leaders Summit. We're into our 3rd one. There's a lot.
I think we use the word leader too easily.
True.
A leader is someone who inspires and wants to be followed. I think we should also recognize that a leader is a position where a manager is a person who makes absolutely sure that everything works. So you hear too easily. Every time I go, oh, the leaders, I think, where are they? Sometimes, sometimes I see them, sometimes I recognize them.
If you have to ask, you are one, Lex.
So let's not make it too easy on this podcast. Should we? No, but everyone should try to become a leader, because you need to see if you can, let's say, influence people, if you can lead, if you can show the way, if you can do all the things that needed and inspire as well. I think that's difficult, and it takes a lot of energy and time and to study, but I think there's so many people who could definitely go from manager to leader here on this event, and there are also a lot of leaders. I've seen a lot of leaders as well.
Do you think from an industry perspective, do you think the opportunity is there for people to kind of continue on that pathway and move into leadership roles?
Yeah.
Do you think there's work to do?
Yeah, this industry is big. There is also a risk to it, because there is a shortage of, let's say, really skilled people. And what you see sometimes, they're moving from role to role, moving up the stack. They never have been held accountable. They never had to learn from their mistakes because they were already gone. And they just have the title in that perspective. And you see, okay, I have the title, so I'm the man or the woman. And this is how it will work. And that's, I think, is also a risk. I'm now 26 years with the company, so I'm longer with the company that the company exists, because digital exists 20 years. So that makes me a founding member of the company, 6 years before they actually started. Just making some fun here. But I think stay where you are. Make sure they can hold you accountable for what you did. Make sure that you learn from this, and make sure that you develop yourself and also people around you and with you, and make sure that this will be the core of the industry, where people will really have the knowledge, have the title, and are seen by the title.
Well, nurture the next generation too, right? And, that's why we're really happy. I mean, we've been running the talent and tech program for a couple of years, and that's just going from strength to strength. And it's now we've got a bit of, customers that put money behind it. And it's just, we don't make any money out of it, but it enables us to bring, people who are in their final years of kind of technical or business degrees here, or, in their first couple of years of, their career, because we want to inspire the next generation. We know there's a requirement, retirement cliff coming. We need to keep that coming and things like that. Plus, I don't know if you guys have seen around here, really happy to have Michael Gerardo here in the Data Pop Art Gallery.
We're in the book.
Yeah.
Which is mental. And apparently we're on a wall downstairs.
You are, you
Someone
are.
sent me the
What?
picture last night and I was like, where's that? I haven't
That
even
is
seen it.
really
Yeah.
cool. And, he's done the Pele and, all of
I
this
think
stuff.
it's amazing. When Michael first messaged me saying, like, I've done this colouring book, what do you think? I was like, mate, that is amazing.
So
like,
cool.
What do you need? Let's push this, let's get this out there. But no, initiatives like that are really, really important. It's just a slightly different way of thinking, different perception, and it helps bring people in.
He just reached out to me one day and was like, can I have a free pass because I'm doing this? And I was like, that's so cool. We can do better than that. Like, let me help you get here. We'll host you. We've got 2 art galleries. He's selling his colouring in books. Every kid I know is going to be getting one of those things. Like, it's
so
really cool.
So cool, especially for a dad with young kids, how to keep them busy. Right? I'm sure your children are the same around.
Yeah. Do you think that's the evolution of events? Like, as the industry does get bigger, and you do need to provide different sort of levels of entertainment, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you obviously got the content that we talked about. The amazing content will keep people coming back, but also things like that. People will go away and remember that, won't they?
Well, that's the point, right? And, all those different things, different touch points, facts that clients really take advantage of can, right? I mean, you had an amazing beach party. Sting was playing last night, There's all of this really cool stuff that's going on. And we want that, right? Because we can be in the industry. Yes, there's a lot of work that happens here. I mean, deals are getting done.
Yeah, don't forget that.
But, at the same time, we're humans, and you should be able to bring your full human to where all of the experiences you have, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
But I think the networking aspect of it is, again, like we've asked people, what's your key takeaway? And catching up with old friends is one that comes up all the time. Catching up with those people that I haven't seen for 5 years, or people from the industry that you worked with 15, 20 years ago. It's not, yes, you're right, deals get done, we're here for business, but equally that, again, is really, really important to the individuals that are getting the opportunity to catch up with people they've never seen.
Well,
And
humans do
relax a
business
little
with
bit.
humans,
To be
right?
fair, to relax a little bit
Yeah.
as well.
Enjoy the sunshine.
It's like every
Today.
event should involve sunglasses.
There you go.
That has been one of the coolest giveaways here
sunglass
as well. The
event.
sunglasses,
You
yeah.
call it the sunglass event.
Well,
So talking of the event specifically, what
Yeah.
about the future then? Everybody's talking nuclear power, AI. Does
Yeah.
that mean we're going to see other decision makers from the nuclear sector coming in?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, look, Rolls-Royce are already here. Juvenova's already here. There's more and more coming from that. We've launched, so in Texas, for example, it's our next flagship event. We've really purposefully put together fiber, data center, and power because you can't divorce those conversations. And again, I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago, like West Texas Gas would be a main sponsor of a data center event? And now they are, right? Because they realize they're important. If I go back to Brussels, where, Lex again was a keynote speaker there, that's because we saw coming down the chain energy being such a huge issue for the industry that it was amazing for us to be able to actually work with policymakers, grid operators, utilities,
really
data
amazing.
centers.
I didn't see it coming, I thought, why on earth am I invited to Brussels? And then standing there as a keynote speaker and then realizing there were members of parliament, there were all kind of people. And what I loved about it, they felt free to actually engage. Normally these people are a bit on a distance, they will communicate with you. Not that open, it was open. And I really respected that approach from them. It is the engagement with us through these events, that actually make it happen. But on SMRs, on nuclear power, I am also in the European Commission work group for nuclear power, and I'm in the supply chain group and in the education group. And it's not that we say we should have nuclear power as the EUDCA. As the EUDCA, we need to look at what do we need. If we think about there is a 64 gigawatt upgrade ongoing on the power grid in Europe, and that program is from before Gen AI. The 64 gigawatt, it sounds a lot, and it will be available around 2030. But on the other hand, it's not enough because it was before Gen AI.
turned up.
Before Gen AI. So now we need to think, okay, how will we do this? And now we look at all these opportunities. And because we have the capabilities and we do have the investment partners around us that may say, let's build an SMR big enough to maybe do a little bit more than only your data centers, see what you can do around for the neighborhood. How can you stabilize the whole grid? How can you support the grid? I think these are the important conversations. And I believe when I look at it, it says 2030 ready. We're looking at 5 different technologies of SMRs. The typical ones, light water, molten sand, a few more. But then we suddenly are no longer Europe, but suddenly we are independent countries. Now you see certain countries, yes, but we need to focus on this one. Oh, we need to focus. And now we come to 8 different models of the 5 different technologies. Now we're at 40 suddenly. And I asked the question, I said, how do you see this? Because we need to build programs from technician to master degree for 40 different things in 6 years. How do you see it? That's not going to work. We need to prioritize what's feasible, affordable, easy to permit, and hopefully not too dirty as a waste. And then you see, oh, wow. I said, and we need to become Europe in this way and no longer all the independent countries suddenly find it reserved. Because if there are 40 different things of SMRs, what will you buy now? What will you do? That's not sustainable.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also puts loads of challenges in the way if everyone's trying to do it differently, right?
There you go.
And if you're trying to make content for an event.
Yeah. Well, a few years ago, Lex, I mean, how crazy would people have thought if you'd gone, I'm going to build a data center next to a nuclear facility? They'd gone, no, it's 100 miles max, right?
There you go.
I'm going to build on top of geothermal activity. And yeah, it's happening in Kenya. It's happening, do you know what I mean? All of these things where it's suddenly gone from, oh no, that's far too risky to absolutely, let's give it a go,
And it's the speed this industry moves at. Again, it's like, I remember talking to your team about the content and saying, like, it's impossible to keep up. You have to change it daily, don't you?
Right.
Like, what's happening. And I think that, again, they're examples of where the industry will go. Like, this time next year, who knows what we'll be talking about? What will have changed? What technology would have come in? Like, SMRs, is it still there or has something else come from? You just don't know anymore.
When I was watching the progress, and I think Dan Madrigal said it really well actually before you today, where last year we were kind of identifying problems. Actually, 12 months on, some of those, I mean, they're new problems, but some of the, there are solutions coming, the work you guys are doing in Europe. I mean, the transmission investment that's finally coming in. And, I thought it was nice in Brussels. We had time for 2 questions at the end of your keynote. One was from the Director of DG Energy, and the other's from the largest transmission operator in Europe.
In Germany.
I was sat there going, job done. We've tried, this is exactly what we wanted to achieve.
Good questions.
And they weren't primed. They were genuine just from the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I always like that, I think also when people do speak here on these events, make sure you have time for questions.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Don't just try to drag it on until, there's no time for questions. No, be challenged on your own content.
You don't know he's listening,
It's love, I love that.
People tend to be concerned about asking questions in an open forum, right? But
well, not this morning.
No. Well, you
could have
blew some
continued.
brains this morning, Lex, eh?
it sounds like it was an inspiring, thought-provoking session. To say the
Mildly
least.
terrifying too.
I
And we've got one more question.
One more question.
Final question, Rory. Of
Yeah,
the
the
podcast
same question
series.
we've asked everyone, Mark. I suppose even more important for you, Annabel. But let's start with Lex first. Biggest highlight, most important takeaway from DataCloud 2025.
Ooh. That's a really good
There is
question.
no single biggest highlight. It's the collective of everything that's going on. And everyone is contributing to this enormous peak of, let's say, knowledge and highlights in that perspective. So I couldn't say this one's better than the other one. You know, they are all kind of interlinked with each other. And I think so the highlight is Datacloud.
Yeah.
And mine's probably maybe a bit more personal, I suppose, just because I feel so privileged actually to have been part of the team that have done this. And more than that, like, you know, we don't see ourselves as being separate to the industry. We want to be part of the industry and help, right? Because like you said, Lex, we want to help advance the conversation. So the amount of support and love from, you know, that we've had whilst on site, you know, it's just so gratifying because that's kudos to the team and that's kudos to everyone. It's kudos to you, Andy, for coming to the podcast, to you, Rory. I mean, honestly, so many people, it's not just us, put so much time and effort into this that if you've walked away with, you know, going, I've had a successful time, then great. And I'm just so privileged to have been part of that, if I'm honest.
Makes it all the more worth it, all the more
It
rewarding.
really does, right? And then
and
when we go into the maelstrom again, I just need to remember this feeling.
And
yeah,
also,
yeah, you should keep it with you, otherwise you will say never again.
and also, well done. It has been an amazing event, and
Yeah.
and make sure you celebrate it because I know
Yeah.
how hard you all
You
work.
deserve it.
Well, we all
Absolutely.
do. We've got the awards later tonight.
Yeah.
And whether the team get a seat or not, they're all coming back. So there's plenty of champagne. We've got
Yeah.
a good band. We're playing to dance the night away.
There you
Oh,
go.
honestly, I'm a big believer in championing the people you work with, and your team are absolutely incredible. They
brilliant.
have made everything seamless. So yeah,
That's good.
Fantastic
And
job.
you know, and I know things have got dropped and whatever, but that is genuinely because there's just not enough of them.
I-
Just seeing it
Human.
overworked.
you see, but the beauty is that you see that stuff. He's really organised. I don't think anybody else has really known.
That's the most important
Yeah.
thing. Same on stage. When you lose what you want to say, no one knows, but don't show it.
You didn't see me at 8 a.m. yesterday morning. That was old.
There were no mistakes for us. It was flawless.
It's a perfect event.
Oh, EUDCA 2025. That is a wrap. Thank you so
you.
much. Well,
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Been a pleasure.